Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My day's been fantastic. Thanks so much for asking. Today we got some more freaky stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got some slapped ham. Yeah, we've been here before. We've fought in these trenches before, and we're gonna keep doing it. Cause sometimes that slapped ham, he comes up with that delicious, you know, them hidden gems, them little goldy nuggets. He comes out with those ones every now and then. We have to filter through some bullshit and duke our way out of some horse manure, but sometimes we do come out with a big shiny diamond. And yeah, today's video specifically, we have scary mysteries that remain unsolved. So this is going to be slightly different from our normal content. Our normal content is usually paranormal, ghosts, blah, 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 poltergeist, all that kind of crap. Today, it seems like it's more so about mysteries that are remaining unsolved, which is actually really intriguing. I'm surprised we haven't really delved into this a whole lot before. We've watched, like, mysterious videos, but nothing that, like, that are just, like, actual mysteries that just have never been, you know, solved before. But yeah, without going into further detail, let's just, you know, see what we get here.
How you doing? I'm Callan, and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some scary videos that are
Damn,
leaving...
bro, Callum, he's getting that fucking beard, bro. Damn, look at that. He's looking so much better. Look at that beard, man.
viewers on edge. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content, just like this. Now, before we get started, I just want to thank today's sponsor, Discovery Plus. Not only is it awesome that they're sponsoring today's episode, but they're also giving us an opportunity to talk about one of our most favourite haunted locations of all time, the Cecil Hotel.
Oh my gosh. Not the Cecil Hotel.
The Cecil Hotel is considered by many to be one of the most haunted locations in the world. It's the site of a long, bloody trail of murders, suicides, and disappearances. It was even home to one of the most brutal serial killers of all time, the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez.
Ramirez, a drifter from El Paso, Texas, and a self-described Satan worshiper, began his reign of terror in June 1984. The Deputy District Attorney Phil Halpin said Ramirez had probably rewritten the book on serial murders.
Ramirez lived in the Cecil Hotel during his 1984 Summer of Terror, where he murdered 13 people and terrorized many more.
Crazy.
Paranormal investigator Zach Baggins and his team explored the hotel in their new special, Ghost Adventures Cecil Hotel, which is streaming on the brand new on-demand service, Discovery Plus.
You've probably seen and have been haunted by the...
Man, I gotta tell you, the Ghost Adventures is my guilty pleasure. It is. I have watched those guys for so many years, and I've rewatched so many seasons by them, I'm not afraid of admitting it. They could do a lot of dumb shit, but, like, I don't know, I just love their content. I love learning the history, like, in detail for, like, the first 20 minutes of each episode, and then I like seeing their reactions, and I think sometimes they actually do capture some pretty crazy things. But, yeah, they're a guilty pleasure of mine. I've watched a lot of Ghost Adventures. I love that crew. I really do.
elevator.
And we're back. That was a fairly long ad.
Of course, we can't talk about the Cecil Hotel without delving into one of the eeriest disappearances of all time, the vanishing of Elisa Lam. This case, which played out among the haunted halls of the Cecil Hotel...
I wouldn't call it the vanishing. They found her body. She didn't really vanish. They kind of know exactly what happened. The real mystery behind it, for sure, that we're about to see is the way that she acted on the CC like cameras and stuff like that. It's very strange to like the way that she was acting, and then the position that they found her body in was just even more like, what the heck is going on, dude? That's the real mystery. She never vanished. They found her. She was missing for a bit. She's not a fucking magician.
Hotel has captured the attention of people all over the world. In January 2013, Canadian student Elisa Lam took a trip to Los Angeles. She stayed at the newly rebranded hotel Stay on Main, which was connected to and operated by the Cecil Hotel. Shortly into her stay, she vanished without a trace. LAPD launched an investigation into the whereabouts of Elisa Lam. After questioning staff and hotel guests for several days, police came into possession of what is now a very infamous piece of CCTV footage. This security recording is the last known sighting of Elisa Lam. The clip begins with Lam marching into the elevator. She presses several buttons at once and waits in the corner. She steps outside and quickly looks right and left, as though looking for something or someone. Lam strafes into the corner of the elevator in a strange sidestepping motion. She peeks outside of the lift again, stepping strangely.
It's so strange. Naturally, without putting too much thought into it, my initial reaction to this is she's under the influence of something. The way that she's acting, the way that she's moving, given. It is very strange. There's no arguing that. It is very strange in how she's moving and acting. What also I think is kind of strange is that she pushed all these buttons and the elevator did nothing. Usually they're fairly responsive, right? I mean, unless I'm wrong, they're usually pretty responsive. But aside from that, I just think that she's under the influence of something. A drug or alcohol or probably both. That's why she's acting so strangely.
Note that the elevator hasn't closed its doors or departed as normal the whole time this is going on. At the 1:29 mark, we get a glimpse into the state of mind that Lam may have been in. She presses the buttons again, but the elevator doesn't respond. At the 1:57 mark, she looks as though she's communicating with someone. Her hands flex in a bizarre motion. At 2:28, we get a glimpse of one of the most notorious frames of the Elisa Lam footage. As Lam moves out of shot to the left, we see what many believe to be an extra foot. Here it is again in slow motion. Viewers of the footage have speculated that there's an extra person standing just outside of the elevator, possibly with their finger on the button. This could explain why the elevator isn't working properly. Another famous frame of the footage happens at 2 minutes and 57 seconds. As the door finally begins to close, there appears to be a cut in the footage. Take a look. Internet sleuths and armchair investigators around the world believe the footage has been tampered with, possibly hiding damning evidence.
Probably.
A detail that supports this theory is the blurry timestamp. Throughout the clip, it's almost impossible to read the timestamp, again pointing to interference. Finally, the elevator door closes for good and departs to another floor, leaving viewers with the knowledge they've just seen Elisa Lam for the last time. Several days into Elisa Lam's disappearance, hotel guests began to complain of low water pressure. The water also looked dull, cloudy, and brown. It's said to have had a bitter, unusual taste. After receiving numerous complaints about the water pressure, hotel maintenance staff began looking for a source of the problem. Their search led them to one of 4 1,000-gallon tanks on the roof of the hotel. Inside, they discovered the body of Elisa Lam, floating face up with no clothes on. When the news broke, headlines went into a frenzy the world over. Although the body had been found, the mystery had only seemed to deepen. As of writing this, no one actually knows what happened to Elisa Lam or how she ended up in the water tank. Official cause of death is accidental drowning. However, the coroner's report does nothing to ease the mystery surrounding the death of Elisa Lam. Ghost Adventures Cecil Hotel, exclusive to Discovery Plus, follows Zach Baggins and his crew as they retrace Lamb's final days within the hotel.
We've gone over this.
They employ 2 mediums to make contact with spirits possibly trapped in the hotel. The crew go from room to room looking for clues that might answer some of the open questions that remain on the case. And what they find may just shock you. Now, to all our US viewers, you can get a 7-day free trial of Discovery Plus using our special link in the description box below.
Oh my god, Slapped Ham. Dude, I get it. It's your sponsor. I understand, but fuck me. This is worse than Raid Shadow Legends. Dude, half of your videos so far has just been you plugging your sponsor.
Joe Hill, son of horror author Stephen King, may have found an all-important clue in a decades-old cold case. The case of the Lady of the Dunes has long intrigued true crime aficionados due to its brutal nature and unsolved status. On July 26, 1974, a 9-year-old girl was walking her dog through the Race Point Dunes in Provincetown, Massachusetts, when she happened upon some human remains. The body was found face down on half of a beach blanket just yards away from a road. The subsequent police investigation found 2 sets of footprints nearby and tire tracks some 50 yards
I'm so sorry.
away. They found no sign of a struggle and deduced that the victim may have known her killer or been asleep when she died. Little is known about the woman outside of her murder. Her body was left in such a state that it gave almost no clues as to her identity. Despite this, the police were able to profile the woman at the time, estimating that she was around 25 to 30 years old, around 5'6" and weighing 145 pounds. This information alone is enough to give people a somewhat accurate mental picture of what she may have looked like before her mutilation, but admittedly could fit the profile of many women. Without knowing the woman's identity, it's understandable how this case could have led to a dead end at the time. Still, it's precisely that air of mystery that allowed the woman to become an almost mythic figure. Decades later, in 2015, Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, claims he found a vital clue in the Lady in the Dunes case. Having just read a book titled The Skeleton Crew: How Amateur Sleuths Are Solving America's Coldest Cases, which detailed the case of the woman, Hill became very familiar with the incident. Bizarrely, while attending a 40th anniversary showing of the thriller film Jaws at a nearby cinema, Hill came to a stark realization. Hill believes the Lady in the Dunes was working as an extra in the classic film. There, in the sequence called July 4th, Crowd Arrives, is a woman who fits the description of the unknown Jane Doe, found in the dunes of nearby Provincetown.
What? No.
Using composite police renderings of what the woman might have looked like, Hill argues that the Jaws scene in question would have been filmed just outside of Provincetown that June, before the murder took place. What's more, both the woman in Jaws and the Lady in the Dunes were spotted wearing jeans and a distinct blue bandana. The murder took place just weeks after the famous scene was thought to have been filmed. Hill theorizes that the Lady in the Dunes may have been summering in the area and got involved in extra work for the film. While there's no way to definitively prove that the Lady in the Dunes featured in Jaws just weeks before her gruesome death, the evidence is there for you to make up your own mind.
That's interesting.
Love to get your opinions on this curious theory in the comments section below. In September 2007, townsfolk of a small village known as Caracas in Peru witnessed a bright streak of light in the sky, followed by a loud bang. In a nearby field, an impact site was soon discovered. A crater had been gouged out in the clay soil with patches of scorched earth surrounding it. Locals flocked to the site to see what was later identified as a meteorite impact zone. Local official Marco Lamarche described the scene. Boiling water started coming out of the crater and particles of rock and cinders were found nearby, he said. He claimed that fetid, noxious gases plumed from the gaping hole in the earth. Approximately 100 to 200 locals are reported to have investigated the crater shortly after the meteorite crashed. Alarmingly, witnesses and first responders soon all reported feeling sick just after visiting the crater. After even more people reported being sick, local officials of Caracas were alarmed. Makeshift medical tents were erected outside of the hospital as there wasn't enough room to take care of all those who fell mysteriously ill after approaching the crater.
Radiation?
Those sick reported a mix of headaches, nausea, diarrhea, dermal injuries, and vomiting. Local livestock surrounding the area where the meteorite made its impact was also reported to have died in the aftermath. The local water supply was cut off due to potential contamination,
Yeah, it could be
and
radiation.
Caracas was frantically thrown into a state of emergency. Oddly enough, after so many people fell sick so quickly, most of the citizens of Caracas reported recovering just 4 days after the incident. Experts reported the meteorite had been much hotter than typical meteorites on impact due to higher than normal iron levels. Having ruled out radiation poisoning, experts first believed these mysterious illnesses to, oddly enough, be psychosomatic.
What do you mean? How did they just rule out radiation poisoning? Because it had iron? I mean, I'm no scientist, but I wouldn't think that just because there was iron in the meteorite that there wouldn't be radiation coming off of it. Doesn't seem like a logical thing to just be like, oh yeah, freaking it's made of iron, so radiation poisoning is impossible. Like what? That would make the most sense.
Nature. Still, experts had to wonder why hundreds of locals would have had the same mental reaction to the fallen meteorite. This rare occurrence seems to have caused a spike in arsenic, becoming the later explanation for the odd sickness down the line. Still, the odd details of this incident have stuck in the minds of paranormal enthusiasts over the years. Although arsenic was ruled as the most likely cause of the mass illnesses, some have speculated whether the meteorite brought an extraterrestrial disease to Earth, one that can't be medically diagnosed at present.
Well, no, I would rule out that theory entirely, because if that was the case, it would infect the whole fucking world and they wouldn't have recovered magically in 4 days. Duh.
Before we take a look at the curious case of Julia Pedder, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop when we drop our mysterious and scary videos.
You. Gross. Don't do that ever again.
In 1921, Julia Pedder, known as the Italian Bride, died after childbirth at the age of 29. She was buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery in Chicago with her stillborn son, Filippo. After the death, Pedder's mother, Filomena, became overwrought with dreams of Pedder telling her that she was still alive. Terrible flashes of her stuck in her grave, screaming. After 6 long years of nightmarish premonitions, Filomena fought for the right to exhume her daughter from her grave. However, the event likely didn't give Filomena the peace of mind she searched for, as Pedder's body remained oddly intact. Visitors to the grave remarked on the pinkness of Pedder's cheeks, as the Italian bride still appeared to be alive. A photo was taken of the remarkably lively remains of Pedder and is still on display at the cemetery to this day. No one has been able to explain why Pedder's body still looked alive. Some have suggested she was incorruptible, the Roman Catholic belief that divine intervention can prevent a person from decomposing after death.
What?
So why then did Pedder's mother suffer from reoccurring nightmares? At this stage, it's likely we'll never know. Over the years, witnesses have reported a ghostly woman wandering the Mount Carmel cemetery. One account tells of a woman in white leading a small boy gently by the hand, guiding him to Pedder's grave.
Interesting.
Now, if you want to see some more scary videos...
So, I have not heard of most of those mysteries. I'm pretty sure everyone was at least familiar with the first one about the, I believe her name was Alyssa, who ended up in the water tower of the hotel. I'm pretty sure most people are familiar with that one. That one was very well known and documented. But the other two, I'm not too sure. There's a good reason why they're still mysteries. My personal theory with the meteor, I don't think that's much of a mystery, if I'm being completely honest, because if they identified iron and arsenic inside the meteor being heated up very heavily, it makes total sense to why people were feeling sick, being exposed to it at a close quarters and, you know, polluting their water supply and calling a state of emergency. That's not much of a mystery. If that's pretty well figured out. But I'm no scientist, and I just want to know what you guys think about this, because I'm too stupid to come up with good theories. But yeah, I want to know what you guys have to say about some of these things. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like. If you're not already subscribed, if you want to share, please do. It helps me a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.